Is the car that's under this cover the most important family car to be released in 2021? Yeah, I know, there's no point in it being covered up because it's the Qashqai, isn't it? You know, because it's in the thumbnail and the title. I just love doing this. Crap, almost fell over. Anyway, I'm going to talk you through this car because there's so many new features on this third generation Qashqai. And we're going to find out if it's as pioneering as the original was when it was released in 2007. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow. Let's start off this video by talking about the design. So if I was to cover that badge up and then rip this off, I can't rip it off because it's too well glued on, you would still know this was a Qashqai. It's this V shape here, which has progressively got larger and larger as we've gone through the generations of Qashqai. They're obviously more bold about their product, but then again, they have sold over 3 million of the things worldwide. And now they're so proud of it, they even put a little Qashqai name just here on the front. Another thing that's interesting about it though is the lights. These are definitely very new and look completely different to what has gone before. So you've got the LED daytime running light on the top, it's got the indicator integrated into it, and underneath are the LED headlights. So on the high range versions, you've got matrix technology, so it can blank out part of its beam so that you don't dazzle oncoming drivers. Another thing that I really like is this, look a huge vent there. It's none of your fake Audi vent nonsense either. It's a proper air vent which helps smooth the airflow over the car. And down here in the grille, that's an active grille. They can shut off parts of that grille to, once again, improve aerodynamics. What do you reckon to the look of it? Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know in the comments. Here from the side, the main thing that stands out for me is the fact that this car just looks more angular than before. There's some really bold creases in the body panels, yet there's then big areas of just flat metal. And in this light, in this studio, it makes this metallic blue paint actually look matte. It's not, it's just the effect of the actual design of the panels themselves. Now you probably noticed this, right? Look at the size of those wheels, 20 inches. The previous Qashqai's largest wheel was 19 inches. They do start from 17 inches, and I think really this car could look underwheeled on 17 and probably even 18 inches. But these 20s do look nice. One thing that is quite interesting is this, look, they've gone for a two-tone effect. You can get the Qashqai now with two-tone, like you can the Duke, and they've created this sort of sloping rear end by blacking out this panel here. Like you get on quite a lot of other crossovers, like a Peugeot 2008. Thing is, on this Qashqai, that's actually a window. So look, hello, see, it's a window. It's quite cool that they've done that. Here at the back, it's very much like the previous generation Qashqai. Apart from this, they've written Qashqai across the back. Bit like how Volkswagen are doing it with the T-Roc and Seat are with the Leon. I was speaking to the designer behind this car and he was saying it just looks better than having a badge down here because that's asymmetric. There's one thing I'm not so sure about though, and it's this bumper design, the lower part of it. Reason being, it looks like they are trying to mimic fake exhaust. They're not fully committed to doing it, but it's sort of a suggestion, isn't it? But really that's my only complaint. Welcome to the inside of the new Nissan Qashqai. Now, if I'm brutally honest, I've never been the biggest fan of the interior design on Qashqais. It's always been a bit meh. This new one is definitely better, though I'm still not blown away. However, I do like some of the features on this particular car, which is the range-topping model. You know, they're unveiling the car for the first time. They're going to put their best foot forward, aren't they? So this range-topping version gets leatherette on the dash and it's stitched, and you even get covered surfaces here on the door trims and even on the center console. And then some nice plastics here, like this shiny plastic, which has a textured effect to it. And in particular here on the dash. Now, the design of that mimics Japanese woodwork, apparently. This is a car that likes to beep at you occasionally. Speaking of which, if I turn the lights on and open the door, you hear that chime? Well, those noises apparently have been designed by the gaming company Namco. So they're the people that did Ridge Racer and Tekken, games I used to play when I was younger. And it's supposed to be more harmonious in terms of the sounds. I'm not sure if you agree, but anyway, interesting. Check this out though. This also reminds me of something a bit retro. Let's see if it'll turn on. Yeah, this is a pre-production car and the battery is running low because we're in a studio. This here is your climate controls and it sort of reminds me of a stereo from the 1970s. I wish I could turn it on. This car is full of features. You get things like heated steering wheel, there's ambient lighting and lots of other bits and pieces, which unfortunately I can't show you right now because I seem to have flattened the battery. Oh well, let's move on. Okay, there's been a development. We've had some guys working under the bonnet to put some power back into the battery. So now I actually have to start the car and it should all be fine. Come on, come on. Come alive. Now you can see the climate controls, yay. And you can see the infotainment system there. So you've got your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and all that kind of stuff. You can either use the touchscreens or these physical buttons here. great having physical buttons, much easier to use when you're driving, and actually, look at that, some of the graphics are pretty nice. Quite like that. Much better than the system in the old Qashqai, I'll tell you that much. Although look, the scrolling's not the smoothest, is it? Yeah. Home location has not been saved. Would you like to set it now? No. Shall we move on? I thought I'd get out of the car before I caused any more chaos. And I want to show you this as well. Look, you can get the new Qashqai with a heads-up display. It's actually 10 inches, the whole display, and it can do stuff like sat-nav as well as your usual speed and things like that. It's the biggest head-up display you can get on a car in this class. Now, if you don't like using heads-up displays or you don't want to spec it, you've still got a 12-inch digital driver's display behind the steering wheel, which shows lots of different information. Apparently, the look of it is supposed to mimic cut glass. Top of the range Qashqais come with Nappa leather, and the soft leather takes 25 days to produce, and it actually takes a robot then 1 hour to embroider this design. It's a design that cameraman Ollie really likes, don't you, Ollie? He likes that. Also, these range topping seats have a massage function with 3 different settings. Massage in a Qashqai. It's going up in the world. If you would like your new Qashqai with a diesel engine, well, bad luck. You won't be able to get it with a diesel at all. There's one main petrol engine. It's a 1.3 litre turbo petrol with 4 cylinders. It's similar to the one that you get in the old Qashqai, and you also get in Renault cars and the Mercedes A-Class. They have tweaked quite a bit of the internals though to improve the efficiency and things like that. It also gets mild hybrid technology, so it has an improved stop-start system. It lets you coast along without the engine running, and it gives you a little bit of zip when you put your foot down. There are 2 power outputs, 140 horsepower with 240 newton meters of torque, or 160 horsepower with 260 newton meters of torque. If a mild hybrid is just a little bit too mild for you, then you will be able to get a Qashqai with a proper hybrid setup. I say proper, it's a bit different to your usual Toyota Prius kind of thing, where the electric motor supports the petrol engine which drives the wheels. In this case, the petrol engine, which is a 1.5 litre with around 160 horsepower, isn't connected to the wheels at all. It just acts as a generator to provide energy to an electric motor which drives the front wheels. Now, this electric motor puts out 190 horsepower and 330 newton meters of torque. And being electric, it should give you instant acceleration. That petrol motor just whirs away, providing the energy for that motor. There is a little battery on board, but it's not huge, so you're not going to be able to go particularly far without the engine running, and there might be a bit of a concern that the engine just stays at optimum RPM, so you get a droning sound from the engine as you're driving along. Now, I don't know until I drive it, but I had a BMW i3 range extender, and whenever you ran that using the generator to provide electricity for the battery, it was just like the whole time, which just got my tits. Hopefully that isn't the case with this Qashqai, but we'll find out when I drive it. This new Qashqai is 35 millimeters longer than the old one, so like that. And the distance between the front and rear wheels is 20 millimeters longer than before, so like that. Despite that, it's essentially based on the same chassis. However, it has been updated. They've made it stronger. So it's stronger in the floor to give you more protection in a side impact. They've also made the underside flat for improved aerodynamics. And look at this. The side mirror is now based on the door rather than up there on the A-pillar. That's more expensive to do, but it does improve aerodynamics, which will help improve efficiency. In an unusual move for a new car, this latest Qashqai, like for like, is 60 kilos lighter than the old version. Now, they've achieved that by doing certain things such as fitting lighter body panels. The boot, that's made out of composite material. Then your wings, your doors, and the bonnet are aluminium. So look at this. This is actually quite light. I'll even drop it on my head. Look, watch this. See, look at that. Weird test, I know, but there is absolutely no way I'm going to do that with this previous generation car's bonnet, because look at this. It's made out of steel and it is a lot heavier. If I was to drop that on my head, despite being lighter, this new Qashqai is actually 41% stiffer than the old car, and added stiffness is always a good thing, am I right? Now, I'm talking about in terms of safety and handling. Also, this new car gets independent rear suspension for the very top spec versions. That also improves the handling. All versions of the old Qashqai had a torsion beam rear suspension setup, which isn't quite as good. This new Qashqai is available with Nissan's latest safety system, so as well as normal auto emergency braking, it'll work in reverse so you don't accidentally back into someone in the supermarket car park. Then there's the automatic cruise control system, which will use radar to keep you a safe distance from the car in front, steered to keep you in lane. It even works in roadwork, so it'll slow you down, and it works in conjunction with the satellite navigation system to spot when you're approaching a bend and automatically back off the throttle for that as well. The new Qashqai comes as standard with a 6-speed manual gearbox, though you can get an automatic version. However, it is a CVT automatic gearbox, and they do that thing, don't they, where they drone a little bit, where they hold the engine at a constant rate. Not my favourite, but there you go. You can also get the car with all-wheel drive. Most versions are front-wheel drive, but if you go for the range-topping petrol engine with the 160 horsepower and automatic, you can get all-wheel drive. And the system actually has an off-road mode, and it can send power to the rear wheels when it detects slip at the front within 0.2 of a second. In the old Qashqai, the four-wheel drive system would take a whole second to do that. You know how I said earlier in the video that the front and rear wheels were 2 centimetres further apart than in the old Qashqai? Well, the benefit of that is that you've got more interior space. And actually here in the back, you have almost 3 centimetres more knee room than in the old Qashqai. Looks very good. Headroom's decent as well, even though this car has the glass roof. That eats into headspace a bit, so cars without it will have even more headroom. And it does feel very roomy and nice. Should be easy to fit a child seat as well because there's plenty of space back here. And because look at this, the rear doors, they open 85 degrees, almost 90 degrees. I think they should have just pushed a little bit harder to get the full 90, the full right angle, but there we go. Look, it's still that easy to get out. There's something else new on this Qashqai. Look at this. First time it gets a motorised tailgate. So if you can't lift, I'll do it for you. Now, one of the problems with the old Qashqai was that its boot was a little bit small for this class of vehicle. It was only 430 litres. This one's bigger, 504 litres. Though, that being said, a Volkswagen Tiguan's boot is 111 litres larger still. Now, this new boot is actually 20 millimetres lower than in the old Qashqai, which makes it easier to load stuff in. Also, look, there's no load lip, and you have that clever configurable floor. It's a bit of lighting equipment. Been left in there. And there's the light, as I reveal them now. So you can change the shape of the boot floor depending on what you want to pack in there and how you want to keep it all organised. Good. I personally think it's easier to just shut a boot with your hands. Finally then, we come to the price. Now, Nissan hasn't actually officially said how much this car will cost when it launches. So it'll go on sale in summer, and I reckon it'll cost them around £25,000. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on those windows there, you can watch more content. And if you click on that box there, you can download the CarWow app for free.